guys, on this week's Wisdom Wednesday, I'm going to talk about a pretty debated thing amongst athletes and people that I talk to, but I'm going to give you some of the science of it, and then you can decide. So the debate is about caffeine. Why shouldn't I have caffeine in the long term? In general, caffeine can stimulate your body to do things that you might not be able to do without it. But as Ben Bergeron said in a recent podcast, it's like constantly being plugged in. What happens if you unplug it? It doesn't work well. And in the long term, there are some things you need to know about caffeine. So these are two cells of your body. And these molecules right here are called serotonin. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and it's super important because without adequate amounts of serotonin, you have depressed moods, loss of appetite, poor sleep, you can lose sexual drive, you can have changes in your memory. So you definitely want serotonin to cross that blood barrier. Now the problem is that these serotonin receptors on the opposite cell, caffeine sits there, okay? So most of the serotonin replenishment that happens while you sleep. And so definitely do not have caffeine within 8 hours of going to bed. That is just don't do it, because the half-life of caffeine is gonna last that long. But for some people it stays. And so if you have caffeine that's bound to these receptors, serotonin can't get into the proper cells, which means you put yourself at an increased risk for depression. And so I just wanted to give you a little food for thought on grabbing your 10th cup of coffee for today, and what it might mean for you and your recovery process and your moods. That's this week's Wisdom Wednesday.